Okay. Well, we'll get Dirk.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We've got Dirk as a new member, and then we've got Jim Dodmead here with the Paul Harris.
Oh,
So
Is this an additional Paul Harris?
I think it was a +4, if I remember right.
So this makes him a +5,
No, it makes it a +4.
+4. Okay.
Let me confirm that with him.
let's see. Yeah, we're good. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, there's a
Hello.
yay,
There's Alyssa?
Elisa.
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 Okay.
and Dirk.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
We can start either way, and we've got Jane McManus, our beautiful district governor, here tonight. She's going to do the honors. So, oh, he's okay. So Jim says he's a total of 5, so that makes him a +5.
Okay.
All right.
And then we have our two of our 3 members, Dirk Weisiger and Elisa Klickinger.
Okay.
So I guess we can get started. I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Okay, you want to start with the members or the Paul Harris?
I'll let you pick.
Okay, Melissa is not on here.
Melissa, no, I don't see her. She's the one that did not respond.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to be part of your meeting. It's been a little while since I've been in front of all of you, and everybody looks great. Everybody looks like everything's agreeing with them, and so let's get started. I'm real excited about having the opportunity to induct a couple new members into your club. So, Alyssa, is that how you pronounce it? Or
Elisa.
Elisa, like Lisa with an A.
Lisa with an A in front. Yep.
Okay, Elisa, and your last name is Klickinger?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then Dirk
Wissiger.
Wissinger. Okay,
There's no N in it, and I don't know how to change Calvin to Dirk on here. So
oh, okay. Oh, okay, I thought maybe you're his twin brother. You have been chosen to membership in the Rotary Club of the Motorcycling Rotarians because you manifest those qualities of head and heart needed to serve Rotary and impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come in contact. I charge you to judge yourself by the Rotary 4-way test in the things you think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned. I wish to impress upon you that you're being admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians, but also to a worldwide association of individuals dedicated to the Rotary motto, service above self. By virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend club meetings regularly, actively participate in club service, and offer your knowledge and talents and energy to the club in its effort to serve your community. Elisa Klickinger and Dirk Weisinger, on behalf of the members of this club, I formally admit you to membership to the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians. Fellow Rotarians, I commend to you the newest members, Elisa and Dirk, and charge all of you to welcome them and engage them in your projects, fun, and fellowship. So let's give a warm welcome to the newest members of your Rotary Club. Congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, then the next thing you want to, Paul Harris, right? Do we have both of those here or just Jim?
We have just Jim.
Okay. All right. And Jim, how do you pronounce your last name? Domi?
Dodd-Mead.
Dodd, okay. Okay. The presentation of a Paul Harris Fellow recognition is Rotary Foundation's way of expressing its appreciation for a substantial contribution to its humanitarian and educational programs. It is named for Rotary's founder, a Chicago lawyer, who started our organization with 3 business associates in 1905. A world of peace and goodwill comes closer to reality today as Jim Dodd-Mead becomes a Paul Harris Fellow, a gift of $1,000 US to the Rotary Foundation's educational and humanitarian programs is a commitment to peace and to a better life for people, and the membership of this club will never meet. It's because of the gifts as it is that the Rotary Foundation can carry out an array of programs that achieve beneficial changes in our world, improving living conditions, increased food production, better education, wider availability of treatment and rehabilitation for the sick and disabled, new channels for the flow of international understanding, and a brighter hope for peace. In becoming a Paul Harris Fellow, Jim, you join a remarkable company of persons throughout the world. They are recognized for their devotion to the ideal of goodwill, peace, and understanding, a goal of Rotarians the world over, and the one that, Jim, you clearly share. Jim, it gives me great pleasure to present to you, I assume you got them already, to you the emblems of appreciation given to a Paul Harris Fellow. We congratulate you and we thank you for your commitment to the program of Rotary Foundation. Paul Harris said, "He who tries to find the good in others will be rewarded, for others will surely find the good in him. Of all the world's sad and lonesome creatures, the most helpless is he who loves not his fellow man." So please join me in congratulating and recognizing Jim Domi on his 5th Paul Harris. And thank you for that, Jim, because that is how the work of Rotary gets accomplished, is by the foundation contribution. So congratulations, Jim. Okay. I feel like I'm talking to the choir here about Paul Harris. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like me to share, Linda?
I don't know. You got anything else to share? Anything?
Well, we just had our district conference a weekend ago, not this past weekend, but on the 3rd and 4th. And we had a really great speaker come in, Steve Bucci, who has worked with some very impressive people in Washington, and he did several talks on leadership. And so I'm hoping that maybe we can get him to maybe come onto one of these calls and share some of the things that he shared with us at the district conference. Everybody that I talked to was just, the feedback was amazing of the things that he talked about, leadership and servant leadership and So that went off very well. I'm relieved. I can breathe now a little bit easier because I have that behind me. We also did a polio fundraiser, and we raised almost $3,000 in about a 15-minute time period, and it was kind of a fun thing. I had set the governor-elect up, unbeknownst to him, to have a Livingston County sheriff walk into the conference and say that he was looking for Mr. Leonard because he had a warrant for his arrest. And he also put me in jail, which is fine for bringing, trying to bring a rose across the border. And Sparky had a pickup truck that had some debris in it, so he said, "You're bringing yard waste in," but it was all in fun. And got a little cardboard jail that we sat behind, and I said, "If you want to bail us out, start donating to polio, and when we raise $1,000, I guess we can get out." Well, we did 3,000, so apparently they didn't want me to continue on. They wanted to get both of us out of jail. So with the Bill and Melinda Gates match, that's almost $9,000 that we raised. So it was fun. Everybody enjoyed that, and we just had a great time. It was about celebrating the year. If any of you are ever in Detroit and you want a really nice dinner or an evening, the Detroit Princess does a river cruise down the Detroit River, and they go around Belle Isle, come back, and then go under the Ambassador Bridge. So that was our Friday night dinner. And I had a magician on the boat, so he did some tricks. He was fantastic. And so it was a good time for celebrating and having fellowship and bringing some of the Rotarians together. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I have about 6 weeks left in my term, so I've got some things I got to clean up and get done. But it's been a fantastic year, and I am so proud to have been the one that signed your charter, like the 2nd of July. I think Jared got it to me about that time, or the 1st, and it's been a lot of fun just dropping in on your meetings, and I'll continue to do that if you keep sending me your Zoom calls, because I'm not going away. I just like to keep connected to people that I've met. So I think that's probably all I have to share. I'm just relieved that now it's more just some administrative stuff and visiting some of the clubs and some of the projects they're doing right now. So I'm not sure I'll ever get a motorcycle. I think I'm getting a little too old for that. But, you know, at one time I thought about it, but I've changed my mind. I think I'm old past that stage right now.
Does anybody have any questions for Jane or comment?
You know the most coveted title in all of Rotarydom?
PDG.
PDG.
Yeah. Have you been a governor, John?
I am a past district governor. People think you know what you're talking about when they call you PDG.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's been a wonderful experience. There's a little more work than I thought, but I just, you know, said I'd do it, so I just did what I had to do, and I'm not retired. I still have a couple of businesses I'm running, so that was a kind of a balancing act, but we made it through. And I'm looking forward to a summer where I can spend time on my lake. So,
Great to see you, Jane.
yeah, and you know, oh, Jim, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
So did Mike lock you up? Did Mike get you out of jail?
Yeah, he posted $200 bail money for me to get out because, and I don't know if he wanted to leave Sparky in there or not. He might have bailed him out too, but it was kind of a wild, crazy kind of a fundraiser. But everybody got it. Really enjoyed it. It was better than just, you know, it had some fun to it. So
Mike makes a great MC.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we had the voice of God there, Scott Nelson from the Ann Arbor North Club. He's got a really deep voice, and he kept the program running, moving along too. So it went along. I just heard so many positive things about it. I'm just very happy and thankful that it came off as well as it did. It's a big event to plan.
Yeah, it is. Been a great experience for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I made some wonderful friends and people and made connections, and I just want to continue to do that. And someone asked me what is my next step, and I said, you know, I think I'll get back to the club level and help grow some new clubs. My home club has a satellite club, which I started about 1.5 years ago, and I think there's some opportunities just to do more of that. And I know there's a couple of folks in clubs in Canada that would like to get more information on that. So I think that might be where I end up. But I'm going to take a rest for a while, maybe a couple of days, a week, 2 months, whatever.
So the Brighton Club has the satellite?
They do. They do. They meet in the evening.
When do they meet?
They meet Tuesday evenings. They do their own fundraising, and they have their own projects. But they do work with the Noon Club. In fact, this coming weekend is our big annual fundraiser, Top of the Mountain Dash a Crash. It's a 5K around Mount Brighton, the ski hill that we have. And it's an obstacle run. And so they're building the obstacles this week, and, you know, like a tire bridge and a wall you got to climb over, and a car wash where people get hosed with suds and all kinds
That's
of.
a great event.
Yeah, yeah. I am bringing the district governor elect this year somehow got a lease, a Ford Escape, and he put a skin on it, and I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's and knocked polio out of this world, and it's a baseball theme. And I'm going to be the next week. I'm going to be taking that around to a couple clubs who are having events, and the name of the car is called Spark Plug. And it's, you know, it does draw attention, I'll say that. So, anyway.
Is that the one that Sparky was driving around?
Yeah, that's, yeah. In fact, he had it today at an event, a breakfast I went to this morning in Troy. And so he had it there today. And in fact, I'm supposed to take him to the airport on Friday so that I can have it while he's gone and get it around to the district. So I think I have 4 or 5 clubs that I've got scheduled to go to in the next 4 days. And I think he's coming back on Wednesday, but I keep telling him, I don't know if I can pick you up at that time. You know, you might have to wait at the airport for another couple of hours or a day. And he looks at me and he goes, really? I said, I'm just kidding you. So, yeah, it'll be fun.
Jane, tell everybody in this club, because a lot of them don't really know you that well, tell them how long you and Mike have been in Rotary.
Mike was 1984, I believe. Well, maybe that's when he was president. No, I think that's when he joined Rotary, 1984. I was asked to join Rotary in 1988, so I've been in Rotary 32 years. We were the first wave of women in our club. In fact, my sponsor was the first woman in Livingston County, Melanie Moses. And when George, her husband, became president, he decided they were going to get some women in the club. So Melanie was the first woman, and then she started asking other women, business owners, and so she asked me. I had not a clue really what I was involved in, and I said to her one day, I said, You didn't realize you're going to birth a district governor, did you? He goes, no, I didn't. So Mike and I are pretty grateful to that couple who thought enough of us to ask us to join Rotary, because I've never been asked since. So maybe it's because I wear the Rotary bling and people already know I'm in Rotary. Yeah. So it's been, and I met, Paul, I don't think I'd ever would have met you if it wasn't for Rotary.
Probably not. And now I'm a good customer of your business too.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Any other questions? Any Rotary questions, or just any question?
Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us what your businesses are?
Okay. I used to work at corporate America, and through some downsizing or right sizing, whatever you call it, I found myself out of a job, basically. And I was doing some programming for automotive ADP, automotive data processing, I guess is what it stood for. And I really enjoyed working with the engineers at GM. They were doing the pilot program for the Quad 4 engine, and I wrote the database system to keep track of that, so we would make pilot. So I really like to use the computer as a tool, not necessarily programming. So I started a training company, and it started, George Moses has a weekly or monthly publication, and I put an ad in there for training, because in 1987, PCs were starting to show up on desks of corporations, and people didn't know how to use them. And so I probably trained everybody in the building department, the health department, all the other departments in Livingston County, and some of the attorneys and stuff. And that's what kind of started the MicroWorks computing company that I started. And we have now, well, it's been 32 years that we've been running that business. And we still have some of our original customers too. I'm really proud of that. I'm not the technical expert. I'm a finance person now, but Mike, my husband and my partner, he is the one that moves the electrons and makes those things work. It's a family business. My daughter is involved, and we have a couple, 3 or 4 other people that are one technician and a couple of I have some office help, and that's what's allowed me to be able to do the district governor job, because they were there to fill in when I couldn't be there. And when I did all the governor visits, I almost had to show photo ID to get back into my office, but that was okay. And we have a holding company that we have some real estate. Mike does a lot of photography, so I keep track of the finances for his photography business, which he's into landscape photography, buildings and nature. And then I'm a leadership company, an online marketing company, which I have not done as much with lately, but I still have that. So keeps me off the streets at night, I guess.
And what do you do on Tuesday?
What do I do on Tuesday? Usually I go to Rotary at lunch, and then Rotary in the afternoon or the evening, which is, you know, they have spirits and wine and cheese and stuff, so that works out. And in fact, one of the clubs that I had as assistant governor is an offshoot of the in Ann Arbor, and their motto is have a beer and change the world. So that's a fun club to go to on Monday night.
Just a quick question. Was your husband involved in robotics with high school kids?
No, not actually. He was a master mechanic, and so we also, in another life, we also ran a service station. And he would do a lot of the background the mechanical stuff. Though I would do oil changes because at that stage, when you got a lot of money on the line and somebody wants to come in and have their oil changed, and somebody who normally does it is not there, you figure out and you put the car up on the hoist and you make sure that it's level and you do what you got to do. So I've done in fact, I think I'm unemployable because I've had so many different kind of careers that, nobody probably will hire me again.
Thank you.
Jane, I find the fact that you have so many different things under your belt and in your past awesome. I would hire you in a heartbeat. Come down to DC. Let's talk.
Yeah. Well, it makes life interesting.
No, it just means that you have so many life experiences to put against any problem. That's awesome. And from a woman in technology, thank you for everything.
Yeah.
I love hearing stories from women who are groundbreakers.
Well, yeah. When I worked at the service station, that was a place where I learned a lot about working with people because you get a variety of different kinds of customers, and I think that that has helped me now, especially as district governor, when you're working with people, to know what you can kind of know what people are, their talents are, and some of the things that are important to them, and just to be able to put a team together. And it just I don't know, I never would have expected. Well, Mike and I just celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary in April, and I do have to tell people we were not even old enough to drink when we got married, so we were pretty young, and but my father, being the Irishman that he was, figured out a way to be able to get us a drink, so it worked out.
I had my bachelorette party in Windsor. I understand.
Yeah. Well, life is just, and I've always learned, and I've said this, and I go, when someone says something, I say, how hard can that be? Sometimes it's a little harder than I think it is, and other times it's not too hard. But when you're starting, it always seems more, let's say, you're more worried, am I going to be able to do it? And then when you go through it, you look back and you go, that worked out pretty good, I mean, it's not like I haven't had a few things that didn't work out so well, but I learned from them. I didn't let them stop me. I just said, well, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something different.
Anybody else have anything for Jane?
Well, after district governorship, what do you hope to do in the world of Rotary?
I see that there's a need, I think, for some mentorship, younger, emerging leaders who want to know how to develop their leadership skills, and maybe mentoring them. There's a club that's in the district that's not too old. It's maybe a couple years old. There's a lot of young professionals in there, and I said to them one time, I said, just a thought. I'd like to kind of learn more about where you're coming from and your experiences in leadership, and maybe there's something I can share with you. I don't know, but if you're willing to get together and we can just have chats about it, that would be fine. And they're thinking about that because I think they want to know, how do I get where you're at or someone's at, and what are the steps? And there's been a lot of things that I've tried that probably somebody wouldn't have tried. Maybe I wasn't thinking clearly on some of these things, but you try it and it works out, and then other times you learn from it. and growing. I think Rotary needs to grow members, and I'm always looking at new ideas on how to do that. The flexibility, all the things that are coming down now about satellite clubs, and there's a new thing called passport clubs, which is kind of intriguing to me. That kind of looks to me like what I've read, that it's more of a regional type of bond with Rotary clubs, and it's more service project based concept, where if you like the project somebody's doing over here, you go to that club for a while and help them out, and then if you want to do something else that's going on over here. And the meeting times are very flexible as far as number of times those clubs meet. It's a fairly new concept, so I'm not as up on it as I am as a satellite club or an alternate meeting club. I think that's where I'm going to just be, where I can offer any resource and help people who want to lead and get out of their way.
Okay. So I want to give Dirk and Elisa a couple minutes to say something too, as our new members. Who wants to go first? Dirk.
All right. Well, thank you, and Linda, for inviting me today, and it's good joining. And I have spent 30 years in insurance, and now I'm living my own movie. I work with BMW International. I'm in Las Vegas right now, and working with the dealership here. We try to encourage other riders to do long distance rides, and I do events around the country, and hope to meet Harold in a couple weeks in Tennessee. I think you're going to Lebanon. I'm going to be a speaker there, so hopefully we'll get to meet. And I visited 53 Rotary clubs last year.
Wow.
From Texas to the West Coast, promoting my book, and I was so impressed with Rotary. But the problem was I couldn't find one to join. So when I discovered this through Linda, it would fit because I'm rarely home. I have a place in Austin, Texas, and so, but I'm very rarely there. So this has worked out fine. I think the other week I was in Costa Rica riding. So it's great to meet everybody. Hopefully I'll get to meet some of you in person and ride. And I think it'd be great if we could, on a regional basis, somehow do a ride where we can get together. So that's the wisdom I have, Linda, and I'll turn it over to Elisa. She's muted.
I'm muted. Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa, and I run a company called Women's Motorcycle Tours. And I'm so glad to be here. I'm super grateful to Linda. Thank you very much for your patience onboarding me. And yeah, I run Women's Motorcycle Tours. I do a lot of events for women. I lead tours. I've got a book coming out in 2 weeks. So Dirk, I'm going to be in touch with you, maybe for some pointers. I'm self-publishing it. I have a series of dealership talks where I am promoting and educating people about long distance travel by motorcycle. I've done a lot of long distance riding by myself, and my experience is that particularly for women, we build confidence differently than men do. And so it's really great when women have a role model or somebody, another woman stand up in front of them and share their experiences, what they've done, where they've been, because then women can see a part of that, but part of their themselves reflected in that, and then they think, oh yeah, maybe I can do that too. So my journey is a lot of lead by example, a lot of long distance touring by myself at GAT. Oh, and for you folks going to the BMW rally, I will be there as well. I have a booth there, and so hopefully I get to meet some of you there, and I'm trying to connect with some of the local rides while I'm there. I've got a bike that I have 4 motorcycles. I keep one on the West Coast, 2 here on the West Coast, one in Albuquerque and another one's in North Carolina. So I've got that bike to ride. What else? What else should I tell you? Oh, my big project is next year. I am organizing an epic cross-country motorcycle adventure for women. It's called the Suffragist Centennial Motorcycle Ride. And I will be leading 1,000+ ladies across the United States. We have 10 different start points, and we are riding from east to west, and we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And my event is very non-political. To be clear, we are celebrating history, and what better way to draw attention to motorcycling as a positive sport and being role models and setting history ourselves than to celebrate our freedom to vote through the freedom of riding motorcycles. So I am super excited about that. And I think that's it. I'm really looking forward to being a part of the community. My head is up my bum a little bit right now, fundraising for that big event, because I need to get the building blocks in place for that. And so I haven't been able to attend all the meetings. I think I've been a member for 2 months now. And like Dirk, I do travel a whole bunch. And if anybody's going to the 49ers rally, next weekend, then I'll be up there. Look forward to meeting you there. And I guess that's it. I'm super excited to be a part of this group. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Elisa.
Yeah, hi, Harold.
Hi. What's an example of one of your long distance rides, just to get a feel for, everyone has a different idea of what's long.
Good question. Thanks. My longest ride was 2009 to 2010. I rode a Suzuki DR 650 from my home in Connecticut down to Argentina by myself.
That's long.
Yeah. I'm not an iron butter. So it's an interesting question, because my idea of a great ride is not like banging out 1,000 miles. The longest day I've ever done is 890 miles. And that's the exact distance between where my mom lives in North Carolina and where I used to live in Connecticut. But I left out the fact that I'm based here in Southern California now. And let's see, other long trips I've done. I guess my last, I just don't, I left out the fact that I'm a freelance writer, and I have a column in Dealer News, and I have a column in Motorcycle Consumer News. And I've written for all the magazines in the industry, but at this point, I've narrowed it down to those 2 because they're the 2 easiest to work with. And they're also, they're the ones that I really believe in. I mean, Dealer News, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. Motorcycle Consumer News, it's such a privilege to write for them. They're the only magazine in the industry that that doesn't accept advertising, which means that I don't have to say nice things if I don't feel nice things. I can be super honest in my reviews, which I don't do many reviews because I have to patronize the advertisers. It's a whole crazy thing. So I do a lot of writing for them, and I have one foot in the dealer world and another foot in the consumer world, and I try to be that bridge for consumers and dealers, you know, so they can help them understand their consumers. And I do some consulting at dealerships for that. I'm also on the BMW experts list, so BMW dealerships can hire me in to speak. Oh, my last, so where I was going with all of that is that my last, so much of the time I am writing for work, or I'm trying to spin a story, or I'm headed somewhere that motorcycling sometimes gets to be kind of like just my job, right? So 2 summers ago, my partner said to me, "Elisa, you need an adventure. Go get lost." So I had a friend that I met on my South America trip that's been bugging me to borrow his bike, and he's like, "Oh, you know, it's available. You should ride it. You know, you can ride it anytime I'm not riding it." So I went to Bosnia and I picked it up in Brčko, and I rode around the Balkans by myself for 5 weeks. And it was just awesome. I would encourage everyone to go explore Serbia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Slovenia. I went to Croatia, but it was really expensive, so I left and went back over to Serbia, because Serbia is just phenomenal. So, yeah. So, does that? Yeah, I gave you a lot of words, but did that answer your question?
Yeah, you're going to have a busy booth in Lebanon, I can tell. I'll see you there.
Awesome.
Awesome. I'll stop by also, and
cool.
We need to talk. Gosh, we could get you into some dealerships and vice versa. So I have a quick story of a woman I met on a motorcycle when I was going to Argentina. It was Cartagena, Colombia, you know, where you have to ship around the Darien Strait.
Yeah.
And this lady, she's waiting on her, I thought she was waiting on a truck. But so we got to talking. She was from Portland, Oregon, and she was riding her 650 BMW to Ushuaia by herself for the second time.
Second time, wow.
And she was a 70-year-old grandmother riding solo. And the most amazing person I've ever met. And it was my first ride down there. I go, "Well, Daisy, what road do we take?" Because they called her name, and she went to get her bike, and everybody's just watching her. I mean, you would have thought she was your grandmother. And I would have never picked her. And she gets on the bike. I said, "Daisy, where do I go?" She goes, "Just stay on the Pan American Highway. You'll be fine."
Oh,
and,
wow.
She took off. I never saw her again. I didn't get her phone number. I got nothing. And but her name was Daisy, and she was from Portland, Oregon. The most amazing woman that I've ever met on a motorcycle.
Really briefly, just to share the fact that I read about a grandmother who had ridden her BMW 650 to Ushuaia.
That's
and
her.
I thought to myself, my goodness, if she can do it, I can do it. And
Yes.
that totally exemplifies what I said earlier about women. When they see another woman doing something, they're like, "Oh, maybe I can do that too." Because if you're a dude and you're standing up in front of a group of women, they're like, "Yeah, that's really great, but you're a dude." You know, so I just love sharing my story.
They'll say, "Well, yeah, but you're a guy, and it's too dangerous."
Yeah.
And here's a grandmother and doing it for the second time, and she said, "This will be my last ride because of health issues." And she never elaborated. I never knew if she made it. If anybody out there runs across this lady, let me know, because I mean, what a hero. And so I looked up to her, and so I would get the tough parts of my ride going, "Hey, if Daisy can make it, I can. I haven't done. You know, so people look at me and go, "Wow!" I go, "No, no, no."
No.
No.
Oh my.
I thought you
Yeah.
would like that story.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I wonder if it's the same woman. Now I'm going to have to dig her up.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be the same woman, but that's all I know. So.
Well, thanks for letting me share. You can see I get, when I'm sitting at my desk, I'm like, ooh, and then I start talking about motorcycling. It's like, wow, yay.
Well, thanks both of you for sharing that. Does anybody, Jerry made it. Are you awake?
Mute. How do I mute?
You're unmuted.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the time zones wrong. I'm back in Iowa again with my mom and her cancer treatment stuff. I had the time zones wrong, so hi everybody, missed you.
Oh yeah, hi Jerry.
Just contemplating getting back on a motorcycle. I'll be back home Friday and I'll probably start riding again.
Nice.
Get your helmet cover yet?
No, John's trying to make that happen, huh?
I didn't hear the statement.
The helmet cover. You got yours, Jerry.
Yeah, John has his helmet cover.
John has his.
See?
I'm ready.
Yeah, but with John, that's an improvement.
I'm not wearing it until the June ride.
John, does it come with its own GPS?
Can you see my finger, Jerry?
I'm sure you can put one in there.
I'm sure.
Stick
John,
it.
use your ring finger and tell everybody it's dyslexia.
Yeah. What is Listexia anyway? And you're welcome to stop by Athens on Saturday. I know Sunday you need to be somewhere.
No, I gotta be, unfortunately, all day Saturday. Otherwise, I'd be there.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff,
Michelle, isn't
Of
Michelle?
course, you know, if you get lost on there, let me know and I'll come down and find you.
What was that?
You get lost on there, let me know after a couple days and I'll come find you.
Oh, I have GPS and a map.
Yeah, but Jerry,
Michelle,
you
your
can't
husband's
follow
joining me,
John.
isn't
He's
he?
going to be on a dirt road somewhere. You can't go down dirt roads, remember?
No dirt roads, I promise.
I think he's talking about you're right.
If he
Michelle,
gets
your
us
husband's
lost, we're gonna
joining me.
mutiny. We're gonna mutiny if you get us lost. Just FYI.
No, remember, you can
He
never
won't-
be
he won't
lost
get
if you
lost.
still have gas.
Hey,
He won't get lost.
Okay, Linda's coming down.
part of
What?
enjoying the ride is getting lost. Come on.
It's
John,
not,
he won't
it's
get
not,
lost.
It's all part of the
it's not a
adventure.
ride.
It's an adventure, all right?
No, it's not an official ride unless you get lost at least once to stop and ask directions.
Correct.
But if you have gas, you cannot be lost.
And it's not an IFMR ride unless you get wet in the rain.
That's right. That's right.
No, that's only in Canada, Bruce.
Hey, Michelle, your husband's coming tomorrow, right?
That's right. And I was just going to say, if you're with Jeff, you won't get lost.
Oh, no, that sounds like a challenge.
He's never
Michelle, is Jeff
lost.
coming down for the main ride?
He may have taken a side street on purpose, but he's never lost.
He's coming on his bike, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
It's supposed to rain all day Friday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Liquid
Yeah.
sun.
Hey,
A little
forgive
wet
me,
never
Bruce.
hurt anybody if you ask him.
Great.
I
Forgive
melt
me
in the
for-
rain. That's what happens to sugar in the rain. But, you know, he doesn't melt in the rain.
Uh-huh.
Forgive me for going backwards, but who two got inducted tonight, Linda?
Nice, Jerry.
Dirk and Elisa. Melissa did.
Congratulations, you two. That is awesome. That is a great thing. Really appreciate it myself.
Excellent
And who,
addition.
did you do the other thing too?
The what? The Paul Harris?
Yeah.
Yep. Jim's officially Paul Harris +5.
Who is the two?
Jim Dodd made, and then Paul Hendry, but he didn't make it onto the meeting.
Oh, okay. John, you mean?
Yeah. Isn't that what I
John's
said?
got quite a few of them, I think.
I think he's +8.
Yeah. Very cool, guys.
Jim, I don't know if you got my message, but Jim Ford says hi.
Who?
Jim Ford is the guy that runs the Writers Workshop. He was our guest speaker a few weeks ago.
Yeah. How'd you survived?
Pretty much.
Did you get to be a better writer?
Considerably better, more confident. I had the largest bike there. He said he typically doesn't allow cruisers. He likes BMWs and, fast little sporty things. But I mostly kept up.
Okay.
And we were in the rain the whole time. What was that?
Are you now calling that Indian a big bike?
Well, compared to what I was riding with, it's not like a couch like you ride.
Ooh.
Sorry, Jerry.
What do you call Rory's bike then?
I think Jerry's bike has a reverse gear in it somewhere.
It does?
Mine is a sport couch.
Yours is what?
A sport couch.
A sport couch.
That new one that Rory has a true reverse gear. Mine's just a repurposed electric starter, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
My reverse consists of my 2 legs.
Knowing how to pull it in. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm with you.
All right, we're almost out of time. So, John, do you want to lead us on the 4-way test?
I was thinking it was Bruce's turn. I don't think he's ever led it.
I've done it. I did it a month ago.
Well, then I'll be happy to
But
lead it.
I'll help you.
Okay, of the things we think, do, and say, first, is it the truth?
Truth.
Is
Second,
it fair to all concerned?
all concerned.
Will it
Build
build
goodwill and better friendships.
Will it be beneficial
To all concerned.
Is it fun?
And 5, is it fun?
Is it fun?
And will we get caught?
Possible.
But hey, we'll have Harold with us.
Ooh, Harold's going to be on the ride?
No, not unless you're going to Lebanon. I'll be in Lebanon.
Is that Lebanon, Missouri?
Lebanon?
Is that Lebanon, Missouri?
Tennessee.
Oh, I was thinking the country.
No. Oh, come on.
Well,
you guys ought to come south.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night. Good night, folks. Good night.
Welcome to these.
Have a great week.
You too. Now, here we go.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Linda,
Yeah.
is your club runner mailing address correct?
Motorcyclingrotarians@gmail.com.
No, your
Oh,
physical
mine?
address.
Claminator. CLAMINATOR.
Okay. 'Cause I have something I wanted to send to you
Okay.
in the mail. I can't put it through the internet. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the mailing address is good.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. And if the other 2 folks, if they show up or they're going to show up, let me know. I will be leaving for Hamburg on May 30th, and I won't be back until June 16th. So, okay, just a thought.
Right.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to be part of this meeting.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Hi, Jerry.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to shut out of this thing on the phone. I gotta wait till Linda shuts me off.
Oh, you want me to shut us all down? All right. See you guys.
Love you guys.